The gaming community is one that is very divided. There are countless different genres, each with countless games within them, and communities of varying sizes accompanying those games. One thing that brings us all together though is our hatred for EA. There is one thing we need to respect about EA. Some companies were originally great, but have slowly turned into lazy bozos trying to milk your wallet through some half-assed multiplayer experience with a battle pass. A great example is 343 Industries, which went from releasing some amazing Halo games with a great campaign and multiplayer available at launch to Halo Infinite, which was released as a very stale multiplayer game with few maps and an eventual campaign mode which did not surpass anyone's expectations. Now I gotta respect EA for this one thing. They're scumbags, but they're scumbags consistently. When you buy an EA game, you know that you're getting nothing short of the most uninnovative and lazily produced product imaginable. It's gone to a point where the only new things they do in FIFA is bring back old modes. In my opinion, the most innovative thing EA has ever done is efficiently introduce gambling to children. They're the pioneers for loot box-like mechanics, which has only had a negative impact on gaming as a whole. EA also holds the record for the most downvoted comment ever by a huge margin. This was thanks to the release of Star Wars Battlefront 2, which was a fairly decent third-person shooter ruined by pay-to-win mechanics with, of course, loot boxes. The game was also laggy beyond comprehension, but the worst part is the potential of the game. It's fucking Star Wars. I don't even like Star Wars, and this pathetic showcase still pisses me off. I've heard the state of the game is better now thanks to efforts from the developer DICE, but they really went one step forward 3 miles back with the release of Battlefield 2042. DICE is very experienced with creating some widely loved first-person shooters. So for this game, I guess they were really in the lab 24/7 for 18 whole months to make sure they could make this beloved franchise as bad as possible. The game was so unfinished that they didn't even have a scoreboard, which took them like 5 months after launch to implement. And then they blamed Halo Infinite for the game's failure. Come on, son. This isn't talked about much, but the working conditions at EA were insane back in the day. In 2004, regular working hours were 9 AM to 10 PM for some employees, and they worked 7 days a week except for occasional Saturday evenings off for good behavior. I wouldn't be surprised if they spanked employees for taking bathroom breaks either. This resulted in lawsuits that cost EA over $30 million, and fortunately, it seems like they have drastically improved their work environment. Now let's talk about Origin for a second. It has a lot of privacy concerns, but so does every other thing, so this is not EA's worst action. Like Valorant, for example, is Chinese spyware disguised as a garbage FPS game. The more glaring issue here isn't about any Origin features. The issue is its existence. You can buy EA games on Steam or even Epic Games Launcher, but to play them, you gotta download this mediocre ass launcher which has the sole purpose of shoving more pointless deals down your throat. Fucking stupid. However, it does look like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. After being the laughing stock of the industry for almost a decade, looks like they're finally beginning to stop embarrassing themselves. EA has been voted the worst company in America multiple times, but the bigger picture here isn't the fact that they aren't the literal worst company. Child labor and irreparable damage to the environment probably outweighs releasing some dogshit sports games. It's not exactly a cardinal sin, but it's insane that even after being considered the worst of the worst, the bottom of the barrel for so long, EA still hasn't changed at all. The worst part is that the only EA games that actually have good ratings are single player games, and they could have had many more amazing games if they didn't buy and shut down so many game franchises along with their studios for no valid reason. The fact that they weren't making unfathomable profits like they do with FIFA or Madden was just too much to handle, I guess. So against everyone's wishes, they just shut the studios down. All in all, I think it's objectively true to say that EA has a lot of room for improvement. However, they aren't going to improve at all in the foreseeable future because they simply make too much money to care. Unlike me, who makes no money because I'm not even monetized. Subscribe. Thanks.